So All Blacks against Japan, 100 points. It's a high-scoring game. I've got notes coming off the edge of the paper because, there was a lot of action in this game. All Blacks take it out 69 points to 31, as I said, 100 points. 10 tries to 5, so 15 tries in the game for the All Blacks. It was Coles. Good to see him back in action and on the board. Mo'unga, Laumape got a hat-trick. Tahuri Orangi. Bridge got 2 tries. Scored with his first touch of the ball as an All Black, which is a pretty special thing. Naholo and Proctor also on debut got his try. For Japan, it was Anisi who scored the first try of the game, actually put Japan out in the lead. Tui, Tudalalaifi, and Henry got 1. So, crazy game. New Zealand took the lead early with a penalty. And then Geordie Barrett, man, that guy's going to get a lot of stick. Conceded a charge down, and Japan got their first try. It took the lead 7 points to 3. Anisi's he charged Geordie's kick down and did give him a wee shove. It was one of those ones where you look at it and go, did he shove him? Yeah. Did Geordie go down like a sack of spuds? Yeah. Could that have been blown up either way? Probably. If you shove somebody, you're putting a potential that's going to happen. Also, if you go down pretty easy, you're making it look like you're milking it. So, I've only seen it just now. I literally just finished watching the game, so haven't watched it enough times to make a real call on whether he should have tried to stay on his feet a bit more. But with that scoreline, didn't make much of a difference. All Blacks didn't take long to get back into the lead, though. It was 10 points to 7 after Coles' try, 17 with Mo'unga's try, 17-7. It was 24-7. It was starting to look like it was going to get pretty bad for Japan. I mean, still 69 points is not great. But they did come back and scored a try, made it 24 points to 14. It was another one that was a bit of a TMO job. The guy, I thought initially he'd been held up. Like if the first try for Japan, I hate talking about TMO stuff all the time, but it was a thing. The first time for Japan, I thought I was leaning on my first viewing more towards that Geordie Barrett should have tried to stay on his feet a bit more. For this one, it was more like, he looks held up, but they still went with the try. Referee had the better view apparently. A bit of handbags after that one, but it made it within 10 points. But again, the All Blacks just struck back. The All Blacks were scoring like pretty regularly. I mean, if you're going to get 10 tries, that has to be pretty regularly. But it was almost a point a minute in the first half. It was 38 points to 19 at halftime. So All Blacks scoring almost a point a minute. But then Japan, 20 points almost in the first half, is still nothing to kind of snub your nose at, because a lot of teams would be doing well to score almost 20 points against the All Blacks in one half of footy. So, that was interesting. Halftime stats, it was obviously more in favour of the All Blacks, kind of 60-40 possession and territory. Japan were kicking some strange ball back to the All Blacks. It was, at times it was a bit frustrating because their whole thing is that they're able to use their fitness, so it didn't seem like kicking was all that smart. Scrum was under a bit of pressure, to be fair, but their line-out in the first half was operating at 100%. It was quite impressive. Having watched the Sunwolves struggle with their line-out all season, or not all season, the first half of that season just gone in Super Rugby, it was good to see them kind of on song in that first half anyway. Tackling was telling, though. It was 85% for the All Blacks, which is solid. It's 74 for Japan, which is a bit poor, and kind of speaks to why they conceded almost a point a minute in that first half. Penalties conceded were 6-2 at halftime. So Japan really kind of doing well to be at that point where they were. But in the second half, I mean, again, it's always hard to say because they conceded 69 points overall. But apart from a period where the All Blacks just ran in kind of try after try, the Japanese actually improved their game a bit. I thought they had a bit of magic. Like one of their tries, was it Henry's try was... I should say that Japan stopped going for penalties kick to touch after they mucked up 2 lineouts they only had a handful of lineouts the whole game on their own throw, but they mucked up one 5 meters out from the All Blacks line. Mo'unga did kick a ball dead that he was trying to do earlier with that as well, I should say. But they mucked up a line out 5 meters out from the All Blacks line, and then they mucked one up from the All Blacks exit. So they mucked up 2 in a row, and that was it. They pretty much decided, right, we're not going to kick any more penalties for touch. Like all that fine line out work we've been doing in the first half, no, we're not going to go with that. We're going to go for the tap. It was obviously a strategy thing. And that one had actually paid off because they built some phases, and then Tamura had this crazy little cross kick, and Henry got it, and it was a really sweet little try. Obviously, if you guys haven't seen the highlights, look these up on the All Blacks YouTube page as soon as you can, because 100 points. There's plenty to see here. Laumape being a tank. As I said, Bridge getting a try with his first touch. Cross kicks and footwork from Mo'unga was pretty crazy. Yeah, man, there's lots to see here. By full time, I should say Nihi Milaskata also went off. I think it was pretty much at half time. Seems to be injured, and with the way Bridge plays, spoke about it in the preview video, you kind of got to wonder about Nihi's future at this point, because if he's injured again, like by being in this squad, not the Europe squad, he's kind of already one step on the way out. If he's injured again, you wonder if it's kind of the door for him. Feel sorry for him because the guy's had real bad injury struggles throughout his whole career. His opposite number, Fukuoka, showed a bit of skill as well. He set up the last try for Japan. He even got a turnover on the ground. Didn't get enough ball probably, but he's one of their kind of shining light players as well. Michael Leach, 10 from 10 tackles in a team which missed a few tackles. All Blacks, Mo'unga beat 7 defenders. I told you about his footwork. It was great stuff. Laumape 3 tries, a try assist. But they're not going to be happy defensively. At the end of the day, for this game, despite all this stuff, the helter-skelter nature of that second half made it kind of feel more like a Barbars game. But yeah, man, entertaining stuff. Both sides ended up tackling about the same, 74% for Japan, 76% for the All Blacks. And the All Blacks coaching staff not going to be so happy with that, I reckon, because again, not many teams score 5 tries against the All Blacks, albeit the All Blacks' second string team. Still, 31 points is more than we probably expected from Japan. 69 points is perhaps a little more than we expected from the All Blacks. The bookie said they would win by 37. They ended up winning by 38, so that's pretty much spot on the money. All Blacks attacking threats. Like there was a period where they just scored, I think, Naholo in the 56th, and then Proctor in the 59th, and then Laumape in the 65th, and then Bridge in the 67th, and then Japan got the last one, but it was just bam, 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 and it was, kind of curtains for Japan at that point. But I mean, the game never really looked in doubt for the All Blacks. Good to see a lot of these guys get a run. Papali'i looked really fine in that All Blacks jersey. Got at least one good turnover. Slipped on one tackle that kind of led to a try, but good performance from him. I thought a lot of guys stepped up. Coles, as I said, it was good to see him back. Fafita in the loose forwards, although he kind of shifted into the second row as the game went on. Lots of good performers, and Japan certainly made the game entertaining. Teams are like to kind of give up at some points, and as I said, there was one period where the All Blacks were just running in try after try, but they ended the game with the final say, with Laloifi's second try. So 31 points for Japan is definitely more than I expected them to get. It was entertaining, if not close. There was a couple of lead changes, which I was not expecting. I usually keep that one little column on my little notes. I write how many times the lead has changed. And when the All Blacks scored first, I was like, all right, the lead's not going to change in this game. But then Japan went and scored a try. So, that made it a bit more interesting. All Blacks were running it from everywhere, I should say. It was, when I say Barbars feel, that's kind of what I meant. Because there were some times when if it was a closer game or if it was a World Cup game, I don't think they would have been doing that. But and it cost them a couple of times. But for the most part, it was good to see these guys get a run out in that All Blacks jersey, and that'll be valuable experience for them going forward. Final position and territory was almost even, 47 Japan, 53 All Blacks. The line out for Japan, even because they had so few and then they stuffed those few up, it went down to 62% from 100 at halftime. All Blacks at 90, so solid. That's one area. They got working pretty quickly, having these guys not together that long. But yeah, it was pretty good game. What did you guys think of it? I've got to go to bed now because South Africa and England are playing at like 4 in the morning here, so time to hit the hay. But yeah, good game. I'm thinking the next one will be a wee bit closer than this 100-point epic. But you guys let me know your thoughts. Which players impressed? Which players didn't impress, if you thought any of them. What you thought of the game overall? The crowd, I should mention, was really good. It was a lot louder than that game against Australia last week. The fans really got behind their team, which was also encouraging. And they seem to respect the opposition as well, which is always a good thing. So yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on the game, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.